Well, good morning and welcome to Coach's Corner on this final Saturday in September, our fifth Saturday in September. I can't believe this, our sixth Coach's Corner of the 17-18 year already. Hard to believe. Back in our cozy confines here at Hardy's in International Falls after being down at Target Field last week. What a fun weekend it was. It was a short weekend. It was a long weekend in the time frame, I guess, of things, but we had a good time with our game at Target Field last Saturday and our showdown there from the press box at Target Field. Let's head back to last night. The Little Fork Big Falls Vikings played their homecoming game last night as they hosted the Renshaw Wrens in a game that was heard on K104 and RJBroadcasting.com. Our first regular season Little Fork Big Falls Vikings football game since 2010, a game that I got a chance to go down to McGregor and do, and so it was great to be back watching the Vikings. Also great to be back watching nine-man football. That gets me back to my roots, and I always enjoy watching nine-man football. The Wrens from Renshaw did take their opening possession. They drove 95 yards and scored the only touchdown of the first quarter. They led 8-0. Renshaw would score 4 times in the second quarter, 2 on each side of Little Fork Big Falls Vikings freshman running back Jacob Pendergrass 39-yard touchdown run, and it was 40-6 at halftime. The Renshaw's Jared Kelly would score 3 more times in the third quarter after scoring 3 times in the first half to build a 62-6 lead after 3 quarters, and that would be the final score. Kelly from Renshaw would rush for 255 yards and have 2 touchdown receptions for 78 yards. For 6 total TDs and a 2-point run. He was everything for the Wrens last night. The Vikings were led on the ground by Mason Borman. He had 13 carries for 67 yards, and Pendergast had 16 carries for 62 yards. The Vikings are now 1-4 on the season, and they will be at Floodwood next Friday. Rainy River Volleyball I had on the schedule last night. They were supposed to be down at Mesabi Range, but they got canceled, so no matches last night for the Rainy River Community College volleyball team. The Fort Francis Lakers already a week into their SIJHL season, and after a scoreless first period last night, the Lakers ended up taking leads of 1-0 and 2-1 from the home team English River in the second period on goals by Damian Karinji and Jaden Ness. However, the third period belonged to the Miners as they scored 3 times, including an empty netter, and down the Lakers by a final score of 4-2. Rob Ivey stopped 23 of 26 shots in net for the Lakers. The Lakers are now 1-3 on the season. Early on here in 4th place in the 6-team SIJHL, and they host Dryden tonight at 7:30 at Ice for Kids Arena. High school football games from last night, of course, very busy night as they always are on Friday nights now. As of course we're winding down, we only got two Fridays left in the regular season. I can't believe I just said that, but here we are. So in the Northeast Red, the 4A schools mostly. Proctor improves to 4-1. They are a 3A team. They defeat Duluth-Denfeld 25-6. Duluth East, a 5A school, they beat Hermantown 27-16. Cloquet 49-28 over Grand Rapids as Cloquet improves to 5-0 on the season. They look like they've got quite the team, that team that can run and also pass, as I had a chance to talk to our good friend Sheldon Slaybaugh last night after the game, after Rapids lost that game. North Branch 49, Hibbing 14 last night, also in Section 4A. In the 3A games last night, the Northeast White Division, Two Harbors improves to 5-1 with I can't believe this score, 42-0 over GNK. I was expecting Two Harbors to win, but I wasn't expecting them to win 42-0. That surprised me a whole lot. Virginia also gets a shutout. They down their rivals from Eveleth Gilbert 33-0 as Virginia improves to 4-2 on the season. Eveleth Gilbert falls to 2-3. And remember, they are a 2A school in that respect. Greenway Nashwauk-Keewatin falls to 2-3 on the season as well. Esco downs Pine City 20-12. How did that game stay that close? Aiken takes the stump, retains the stump, I should say, from Crosby Arrington. Those two schools are rivals. They're like Eveleth and Eveleth Gilbert in Virginia. Aiken wins that game 20-12, and Mora downs Moose Lake Willow River by a final score of 30-8. Esco now sitting at 4-1 on the season. Remember, they're in Section 7 3A along with the Broncos. And just if you haven't been watching the QRF on Minnesota-scores.net, looks like with that win last night, this is just a one man's prediction. section here. Proctor will be at the top of the section. Esco will be 2. Two Harbors will be 3. And it looks like right now, unless the Broncos can win some of their final 3 football games, it looks like they could be going to 2 Harbors for at least the 3rd consecutive season for the opening round of the playoffs. In 2A football last night, Barnum gets an overtime win over Hinckley-Finlayson, 27-26. Bram downs Deer River, 43-14. That's actually a single A game there. Mesabi East, 40-8 over Chisholm. In 9-man football last night, Cromwell Wright continues to roll. They defeat Carleton 53-0. McGregor gets the better of Ogilvie, 22-14. Northwoods 47-8 over Northeast Range as Northwoods improves excuse me, to 4-1 on the season. Cook County also gets to 4-1 on the season as they get a big win over Floodwood, 44-6. MIB also improves to 4-1. They are 36-6 winner over Ely, and Silver Bay just drops a tough decision to Southridge by a score of 20-12. Big Fork 12. Kellyhurst Northholm 8. A little surprised by that score. Hill City Northland Reamer, they get their second win of the season as they beat Lake of the Woods 36-6. And so there's some games from around the area in the high school ranks last night. The Twins, well, we know that they're in the playoffs, folks, and they are hosting the Detroit Tigers this weekend in the final regular season series at Target Field. Eduardo Escobar had 3 hits. Brian Dozer got on base 4 times. Twins get win number 84 on the season. How many of you people had the Twins winning 84 games this season way back in April? I know it's about 10 more than I thought that they would have, as they got the better of Detroit 6-3. Starter Kyle Gibson, who's been very, very good lately, did give up 3 first-run innings. He was relieved by starter Jose Barrios, who got the win in a scheduled relief. Now, if you're worried what's going on, why is Barrios in relief? They are trying to get their setup here for the playoffs to get things started here. And the whole idea here is Irvin Santana is going to start in the wild card game on Tuesday. The first guy out of the bullpen is going to be Jose Barrios. So he gets the win last night. The Twins will play either Boston or New York on Tuesday. Still up in the air. New York could still win the AL East. We weren't talking about that for the last couple of weeks, but Boston has been struggling of late. And don't sit there. You're going to sit right in front of the camera. You don't want to do that, Libby. Thank you for not sitting there. As, again, the Twins will get the game on Tuesday against either Boston or New York. Miguel Sano did come off the DL last night in the 7th inning. He came in and pinch hit and grounded out in the 7th inning. The Twins will start rookie Aaron Slegers. Or Sluggers. I'm not sure. I think it's Sluggers, but we'll go with either one of those in a 6:10 game tonight, 5:30 pregame on K104. The Minnesota Lynx never held a lead in Game 3 last night in the championship series with the LA Sparks, and they fall by a final score of 75-64. The Lynx fell behind early, got it back to a point, and then things just fell apart. The Sparks are now 1 game away from winning their 2nd consecutive championship with a game coming up on Game 4 coming up on Sunday night at 7:30. Maya Moore had 16 points. Sylvia Fowles, the MVP of the league, had 15 points and 11 rebounds. College hockey got underway last night for the women. Bemidji State and Syracuse skate to a 0-0 tie. You're not going to see too many of those along the way. Mankato gets a 4-1 win over Lindenwood. St. Cloud State loses in overtime to Connecticut 1-0. UNB wins 1-0 over Penn State. The Gophers lose to Merrimack 4-3. The Gophers ranked 3 at the start of the season. Maybe a little bit of a surprise there. Wisconsin, who's ranked number 2 in the nation, they get a 5-0 win over Mercyhurst. All that in women's college hockey last night. That got their first real full weekend of games underway. Of course, the President's Cup, if you've turned on the TV this morning, you've been flipping through the channels. Golf already on NBC. The U.S. had an outstanding Friday afternoon as they took 4.5 out of a possible 5 points. They have now an 8-2 lead over the international team after 2 days of the President's Cup. 8 points are up for grabs today, 12 more tomorrow in the singles. And with the 8 points, the United States only needs 15.5 points. So it seems very likely that the United States will come away with the win there. What's going on today locally? Well, the Lakers are hosting Dryden. Actually, it says at Dryden, and I'm going to have to check my calendar Make sure that I type. Yeah, they are at Dryden. They are not at home at Ice for Kids Arena. As I said earlier, I apologize. They are actually on the road at Dryden tonight at 7:30. Gopher football team opens up Big Ten play today. They get back on the field after a week off. They play Maryland. That game's on FS1 today, channel 66. If you're a cable subscriber here in town, that game again at 11 a.m. UMD beat St. Cloud State on Thursday night, so both those teams not playing this afternoon. BSU is at Crookston at 1 o'clock. North Dakota State is hosting Missouri State at 1 o'clock. UND is at UC Davis at 8 o'clock tonight. Top 25 matchups this weekend. Last night, a big one in the Pac-12. Washington State at home over USC. Washington State number 16, USC number 5 last night, and Washington State wins 30-27. Number 24, Mississippi State is at number 13, Auburn. Number 2, Clemson at number 12, Virginia Tech. The Minnesota United team, the Loons, they are at Houston for a 7:30 game, and they have been hot of late as they wind down the MLS season. The Wild are taking on Dallas tonight in their final preseason game at 7 o'clock. Regular season begins on Thursday. We'll have that season opener for you from Detroit with the game on 12:30 a.m. KGHS. What's happening tomorrow? Well, the Twins wrap up their regular season against Detroit tomorrow. That game is at 2:10, and all the games that were involving playoff teams possibly were moved to 2:10 just so that there's nobody getting any advantages over another team. So that game starts with a 1:30 pregame on KGHS, 12:30 a.m. tomorrow. Of course, the Vikings will be on at noon tomorrow. They take on the Motor City Kitties. Pregame at 11, game at noon against Detroit. And again, the Lynx playing at 7:30 tomorrow night. We're going to take a break, and we are going to come back with an interview with the Bronco volleyball team. You're listening to Coach's Corner, live from Hardee's on K104 and online at rjbroadcasting.com. Welcome back to Coach's Corner for our second segment, and joined by members of the Bronco volleyball team, head coach Aaron Hall, our good friend Libby Miggins. I had to, Libby. Now everybody's going to be calling you Lamidji.
I think that's only you.
I'm going to make it a rule. Everybody I see has to say that, and Tia Goulet as well. Before we forget where we're going here, and Coach, pretty good start to the season, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, I don't think we have any real big complaints. I think we maybe lost a couple that we would have liked to win. We have one major injury that we're trying to recover from, but other than that, then we're doing pretty well.
And don't take this the wrong way, but well, I'll be honest. Last night I was talking with Sheldon Slaybaugh after our football games, and we were talking about how high school sports are driving us nuts. You just don't know what's going to happen. You can't figure it out. And we were talking specifically about the Grand Rapids volleyball team. Earlier in the week, they lose to Duluth-Denfeld, a team they shouldn't lose to. And then last night they defeat Stillwater, the number 2 team in the state, in 5 sets. He says, where is it? Without their best player? And he says, I can't make sense of it. Is volleyball more like that than any other sport, or is it just me?
No, I think they're all the same. I mean, volleyball, I can just speak for us, I guess. It is very much mental. I mean, or how we're feeling physically, or how we're feeling as a team as a whole. It has to all come together. If it all comes together, bam, there you go. You're going to win that big game. But if not, then you struggle.
You mentioned the injury, so we might as well cover that so people at home know what you're talking about. Emma Gilbert, in my mind, a very severely sprained ankle. I haven't seen an ankle that don't take this the wrong way, Emma, that gross looking since I probably had Reggie Gilo and Ty Boyle with severely sprained ankles way back in 05. Talk about where she is at in her recovery.
It was a bad one. Every day we just kind of go, ooh, hoped it would look a little better, but it's taken a while. I mean, finally we're getting there. She's been practicing a little bit here and there, and she's still running on her toe a little bit, so not full range of motion, but we're getting there. She's moving.
Is it something, as a coach now, obviously you're concerned about it, but is it something where you're more thinking, I want to have her at the end of October than you need her in early October?
Well, yeah, definitely. We want her to heal fully and be able to, play to her full potential. So, yeah, we would like to have her towards the end of the season.
And, of course, this has given the opportunity for your good friend Libby Miggins, to get into the lineup and play a whole lot more. Is that correct, Libby?
Yeah, I mean, at first it's kind of weird to be the middle because I would always forget. But I mean, I would always go right or left, so.
You mean you'd forget where you were playing?
No, well, because I normally go in for like Sarah to play right, but then I was going in with the libero and changing with Jenna. So I don't know, it was fun.
It's fun. It's fun to play a different position. How different is it? I know we.
Well, it's not that different. It's just, I don't know. It changes things up a little bit because I get to play with like different people.
Does it change your mindset being playing in the middle versus the edge, because now you're thinking maybe more defense versus being offensive?
Well, I go in as the middle, but I still go to my normal spot, so it's not that different.
So it's just to the okay. Go ahead.
It's a little bit different. Like we have her going in, subbing in with libero, but she still plays right or left. So whoever comes around on the rotation will be either Tenny or Bailey. So they have stepped into the middle role more so than Libby. We just kind of stuck Libby in Emma's spot, and it saves us a sub, if that makes any sense.
That makes perfect sense to me. I get it. Tia, first year as the libero?
Yeah.
Like it? Not like it?
I really like it.
Why?
I don't know, I just really always looked up to Lauren, and
Yeah.
I wanted her position that's just what I look forward to. It was like when I was younger, I looked up to her, and I was like, that's the position I want to play.
What makes the libero a fun position to play? And if most people if you don't know what the libero is, they're the player wearing the other colored jersey, which I guess I get it. It's easy for referees and everybody and to know who that person is, and they get to come running in and out of the game without substitution. Sometimes I wonder if they know where they're going all the time, but they do. So anyway, I cut you off. What's the best part about playing libero?
Well, I love digging, so like whenever they have they're trying to kill and trying to hit at me, I try to just do something just to get it back up so we can set it up.
What's the hardest part of playing libero?
Reading the hitters.
It seems to me, and again, now we're talking game, and you're talking to somebody who's never had to play or coach volleyball at a level. But it seems like this year, when I'm watching defensing a kill attempt, it seems like there's 6 people up in front of the 10-foot line. It just seems like teams are starting to crowd in and play. They're worried about the tip or the block is coming. It seems like everybody's up close to the net, and it's not just the Broncos. It's every team I watch. Is this a new tactic that I should be into? Get 6 people in front of the 10-foot line, coach?
No, it's not new. I think mostly you'll see that. Well, for us, when our middle hitter is attacking the ball, you make a cup around them to cover.
Sure,
and play off the block. So you're giving up the backcourt a bit. Once in a while, you'll get those big hits off the block that'll hit the backcourt, and you kind of shrug your shoulders and say, "Oh, hopefully that doesn't happen too many more times."
I can understand that. Big win the other night, earlier this week, coach, against Hibbing. Hibbing maybe not, and I don't want to detract anything from a win, but Hibbing maybe not the team that they've been in the past. But talk about what a win over Hibbing means for this Bronco club.
I think, well, anytime you can beat Hibbing, obviously we've only beat them, 6 times total since 1980 something?
Since 1974.
74?
Yep.
Okay, so it's a big deal to win. Yes, I don't think that they're the section giant that they used to be. But they did have some big players, and they did have some nice plays, and they did play hard, and the scores were pretty close aside from the first game.
Yeah, and I have to say, as I watched that match, like you said, the first set was pretty one-sided, but they've got some tall girls. They've got Libby. You can attest to that. And number 11, they had a couple of quick sets to her that were like, kind of like you sit back and go, whoa, what are you supposed to do against that? But you had 2 sets, Libby, with Hibbing the other night that went 31-29 and 26-24. Talk about how tense and exciting that was of a match the other night.
Well, the thing is, when the score's like that, you can't get too tense, otherwise you won't play like you're supposed to. So you just have to be in the right mindset and be like, no, calm, think about your keywords and stuff.
Tia, is it more... Are the points closer to an end of a very tight match that goes into overtime, as I like to call them? Are the serves that are coming at you when you're playing in the back row more nerve-wracking, or do you try to take that same approach that Libby just talked about and kind of go, wow, it's just another serve?
I try to take the same approach as Libby. Otherwise, if I get too tense, then I'm going to shank the pass, and then I give up the game point, and then I just get all upset with myself, but then I have to try to get over it.
The key thing to receiving a serve from the other team. What's coach tell you? What's the number one thing when you're back in the back row because you're playing there all the time? What's the number one thing that you need to do in serve receiving? Because I think it's the most difficult thing to do in volleyball.
Move my feet, get set, have a nice platform.
Is it easy, coach, for kids in the back row, whether it's the libero or somebody else? Is it easy for them to, I'll use the term, get lazy and not move their feet, and that really is the number one thing that they need to do?
It is not. Yeah, it is easy to get lazy. We don't necessarily get lazy on purpose. I think once in a while we need to be reminded, just like Tia said, we need to move our feet. It's almost like you want to beat the ball and you want your feet set when you pass. It is hard. We scrimmaged yesterday.
Yeah.
I was just shanking balls all over the place. And granted, they've been practicing every day for a few months, so they had a little bit up on me. But it is, you have to be able to anticipate. You have to get yourself to the ball and get in position to make a good pass. And we do actually make it look fairly easy, I think. Tia has done a great job, and she's improved a ton this year, so I'm commending her for that.
It's not easy, coach.
It is not easy. It is very difficult.
Okay, so what we got coming up this week? A couple of road matches down to the range. Chisholm and Evelyn coming up. Give me the scouting report, Libby, on the Chisholm Blue Streaks.
I don't really know about
You don't know anything about Chisholm.
I know a little more about Evelyn.
You haven't been watching film? You haven't been scouting them?
No.
You don't have time to do that kind of stuff. Okay, tell me about Evelyn Gilbert then. I'll give Tia. You're coming with Chisholm, by the way.
They have a couple
come up
big
with something.
blockers.
They got a couple big blockers.
Yeah.
Do you know these ladies' names?
Yeah, Avery Strotter. I played with her for basketball a bunch.
She's tall. Yeah.
Yeah.
And?
The other middle hitter is a really big blocker too, but
You don't know her name. You haven't.
No, I only know Avery from that team.
You haven't been stalking her on Facebook trying to get information on the.
No.
I'm not condoning that, people. I'm just yes. So a couple of big middle hitters. Okay, what about Chisholm, Tia? Who's
I really don't remember a whole lot about them.
Okay. Coach, how about you? Got anything on these next two, and these are both Iron Range Conference games. You got anything there for me?
I know that there'll be two competitive matches. I swear Evelyn has their best match against us every year, so I think that it'll be great. And Chisholm's always scrappy, and they always have a couple big hitters. They just keep the ball in play any way they can, and it's awesome to play them. It's a good example.
Tia's over there laughing at me, but I think of the Chisholm teams that I've watched look scrappy. That's a beautiful.
It's not always pretty, but they keep the ball in play any way they can.
If I call you guys scrappy, that's a good thing. You guys should be proud if I said that the Broncos were scrappy.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So, the following week, 3 big matchups. You get Greenway on the road, you get Deer River on the road, 2 more IRC matchups, and then you're at home against Duluth Marshall, and that's the end of the regular season. Is it hard to believe, Libby, that the regular season's you only got 5 matches left?
Yeah, volleyball goes by so fast. It's a quick season, but it's like a work hard season.
You guys are going to have Tia. I always ask Coach this every year, so I'll ask you because you're like the coach on the floor now. Friday the 13th, you play your final regular season game. Nothing about that. But you guys don't play your first playoff game until Wednesday the 25th. You get 12 days off. Would you like to see that change? I know you can't do anything about it because you're a senior now and you're old and everything, and you're going to be leaving. Is it tough with the 12-day break in there to try to be sharp for the first round of the playoffs?
Well, it's always tough, but working hard at practice might help us out and work harder and just being ready.
Coach, like I said, we go through this every year. Is it something that you've tried to change, or is it something that you don't want to see change? I guess I always think that 12-day break is tough. What are your thoughts on it?
It is a big break. I don't feel like I have a lot of pull in changing it, so
Sure.
I try to use it to our advantage. We, break things down any way we can, improve, make little adjustments, details. At that point, you just want to be sharp, so just try to use it to our advantage.
And I'm purely throwing this out there. Are there any? It's always NEA weekend in between the final match and the playoffs. Is there any tournaments that? Would it be worth? Are there any tournaments out there that they play over NEA weekend? I'm just like I said, it just seems they put volleyball teams in a tough spot because there's that big time break in there with NEA. They don't do anything about it.
I could be wrong. They might have a date set in there for like the IRC conference playoffs.
The Tuesday championship game. You're right.
That's kind of mandatory date to leave open, which most of us never end up
it's
using
only just two teams.
So it's kind of to our disadvantage.
Well, I wish you guys luck over the final 5 matches of the season, and then we'll hopefully, as I looked at the QRF yesterday, and they finally split everybody up into their subsections, which I was very happy to see. It looks like if you guys keep going in the right direction, Libby and Tia, you guys should be at home on Wednesday, October 25th for a 7 o'clock matchup. So let's keep that going so that we can have a short road trip that night, like 2 miles. And then Friday we can worry about going on the road someplace else to play a match. I'd really appreciate that. Head coach Aaron Hall, Libby Miggins, and Tia Goulet joining me here. We'll take a break and we'll come back with an interview with the Rainy River baseball team. You're listening to Coach's Corner, live from Hardee's on K104 and online at rjbroadcasting.com. Welcome back to Coach's Corner, joined by members of the Rainy River baseball team. All sophomores? All sophomores. Kevin Alisea, Tristan Lawrence, and Keanu Kalamayan. And guys, Kevin, we'll start with you. How's the fall ball gone?
Good. We faced Crookston and Northland for our first scrimmage, and Crookston, we held them for 5 innings. Unfortunately, we lost, but those 5 innings were what coach and I'm pretty sure the 3 captains want to see it from everyone. They were solid. Defense was fine. Pitching was great. For Northland, we came back from 8-2, and we 8-0, 8-0, and then we came back and tied the ball game. So I think that's what coach wants to see. It would have been nice to win, but at least we tied and came back.
Tristan, the end of fall ball's coming up here, the end of September, right? So what's going? Is there something going on this weekend that we should know about?
Yeah, we have a doubleheader at Mesabi. It's gonna be a good game. We have a lot of guys that are probably gonna be crucial to the team, and last year we split with them, so we're gonna try for a sweep this weekend, so it should be exciting.
Keanu, talk about some of the sophomores besides the 3 that we've got sitting here. Talk about some of the other guys that are back from last year's team.
Well, from what I've seen, the sophomores this year, they've grown a lot. They've become a lot better from what I've seen from last year. And what I think is that since they've grown, our team's going to be a lot better from that.
And when you say grown, you mean physically they hit the weight room? You mean mentally they understand the game better? They've got better patience at the plate? What is it the part that they've grown the most at maybe?
Definitely physically and mentally. Like they're more engaged into the game because from last year they know what they should be expecting. So that's
that's the big part of it. So okay, it's fall ball. It's you guys are what, 6 months away from the season really starting. So what do you work on, Kevin, day in and day out? I see you guys out here at Sheila Field every day working. What are you guys working on?
Bunt situations, conditioning for pitching, situational hitting, because fall season's basically getting ready for spring. And with all those drills and all that, if we would not do fall season and just do spring, we would waste time trying to learn those situations and drills and all that. No, we learn it in the fall, so we won't have to waste more time in the spring and just concentrate on training and getting ready for the season.
I know that things don't start in the spring though, Tristan. I know they start like in January when it's like 26 below, and coach has got you at the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. Is it hard to do?
Probably the first couple times it's going to be rough. I mean, just because waking up at 5, having to deal with school, baseball, and just living life. I mean, for some people it's their first time being away from home. So I expect the first couple times it's going to be rough in the gym, in the cold. But really when you get into the swing of things, you find the groove and you just want to put in the work.
You guys are all telling me that last week's heat didn't bother you guys because you're all from warm climates. So Keanu, where are you from?
I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
And Kevin, you're from somewhere in Florida, if I remember right.
Winter Haven, Florida.
Winter Haven. And Tristan?
Tucson, Arizona.
Tucson, Arizona. So, okay, so I'll ask the question. You guys have already been through one winter. You came back for more.
Oh, man.
It wasn't bad enough, Keanu?
Oh, that was tough. That was very tough.
Okay, so let me ask you, what's the toughest? Is it, and these are the things that bug me, and I've lived here for many, many years. Is it the cold, the snow, the lack of daylight? What's the biggest, maybe the biggest detractor?
Well, I absolutely hate the cold, and I've only seen the snow like a couple times in my life. But yeah.
So the snow wasn't bad.
It wasn't. I like the snow, honestly. Just too cold.
Just
for
too
me.
cold?
So cold.
Tristan, you agree?
Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment from going from 100-degree weather to in the negatives every day for months.
Yeah.
Well, now wait a second. I'm going to give you guys maybe some bad news. Last winter wasn't that bad.
That's
That's what you've been told?
Yeah.
Last winter was fairly mild. It might have been long. It might have been whatever. But we didn't. I think we only got like below 30 below like once. I mean, we sometimes have like week stretches of those. I'm trying to make it worse. Yeah, we did have a nice, a better winter than we have in a lot in the past. So what's the potential of this team, Kevin? What have you seen through fall ball that you guys can take into next January, February, when you guys go to Florida in March? What have you seen that's really got you going? This is going to give us a chance to be competitive in the Northern Division.
I think the chemistry of the team compared to last year we had some like issues, but this year we're actually getting along way better than last year, which is actually crucial because you don't want to be playing as an individual in a team. No, you want to play as a team, and that's pretty crucial. For hitting wise, I think we have a solid hitting group. Pitching, we have a lot of returning players for pitching. I think we've only lost, 2 or 3 from last year, so our pitching group is fine. Defense, we have a solid defense all around. In the outfield, we were a little bit worried, but I think we're good now. And yeah, I'm not going to say anything about going to states or going to regionals, no, because we said that last year and we got nowhere. No, I'm just going to say we're going to take it game by game.
Is there a young kid, Tristan, a freshman, obviously, that's kind of caught your eye? You said, like, whoa, that he is going to be a great addition, or maybe a couple of kids that you kind of go, wow, he does this really good at the plate, or wow, he can make plays in the field, or whatever.
Yeah, there's definitely a good group of guys. There's a catcher. We have Nelson Vargas. He's really come into the whole program and stuff. Made a big jump into the program. And then Brandon Holbert at third. He's been looking really good. He just came off Tommy John surgery, so yeah. And then outfield we have so many guys that I never thought would even be outfielders. We have LeVar Reed who could play outfield. We have Jared Kaminga who could play outfield. And then bringing in pitchers, we already added, 4 or 5 new guys to a staff of 12 already. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting. This is an exciting freshman class.
All right, we got to talk business, Keanu, because part of being able to go to Florida in March is you guys got to raise some funds.
Yeah.
So we always take our opportunity here to talk about what you guys do to raise money. You guys are available for hire. Is that still true?
Yes, it is.
And your favorite job, I suspect, is going out and shoveling snow at like 4:30 in the morning.
I did that all last year. Almost every job I did that last year.
And so now that you're a captain, you'll make sure that you don't have to do that? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously shoveling snow is a big one. Shoveling roofs, I know. What else do you guys do? What else can the community members get a hold of Josh or Shelly Caney? What else will you guys do? I mean, or is there anything you guys won't do for a project?
Pretty sure we wash windows, right? Yeah, we wash windows.
Moving.
We move things. Like if anybody needs a moving job, we'll be there to help.
What else? Anything?
Any community service really too.
Yeah.
And you guys do that mostly, is there a set price, or is it a kind of like a free will donation? Is that what do most people do, or don't you guys worry about that? You guys just go do the labor?
Yeah, it's pretty much like that.
Yeah.
And coach just tells us just to go and do them.
Guys, I appreciate your time. I know you guys got to get back to practice as we tape this on a gorgeous Wednesday afternoon. I certainly appreciate your time, and we'll have you guys on next spring after you guys, maybe before you go to Florida or right after you guys go to Florida, and we'll see if all your hopes and dreams have come true.
All right.
Kevin Alisea, Tristan Lawrence, and Kiana Calamine joining me here. We'll take a break, and we'll come back with more Coach's Corner. You're listening live on K104 and online at rjbroadcasting.com.
Yeah, welcome back to our final segment of Coach's Corner. And before I forget, thanks to my guests, the Bronco volleyball team for being here this morning, and also the Rainy River baseball team for taking a little time on Wednesday when we taped that interview. The guys taking some time out of their practice come over and give us that interview. And they are on the road today playing a fall scrimmage game against Mesabi Range. And I was reading, I got a text message actually during the interview from Coach Koenig. We are playing at Nashwauk this morning against Hibbing at 11 and Mesabi at 1:15. Got moved due to the wet field conditions in Virginia, so they are actually heading to the the west side of the range rather than the east side of the range to play those games against Hibbing and Mesabi Range. Let's talk about the week that was, and let's start on last Saturday. Rainy River Community College volleyball team lost to Central Lakes, the number one team right now in the Northern Division, in 3 sets. Tiana Terry had 6 kills. Sandy Thompson and Elle Wilform each had 4 kills. Carly Phillips, 15 set assists. The Little Fork Big Falls Vikings volleyball team went 0-4 on the day last Saturday, losing to Ely, host Virginia, Hill City, and Cromwell. And stats for the day, Emily Franz with 12 kills. Danielle Pekarski had 8 kills. Megan Fairchild, 7 blocks. Anna Imhoff, 30 digs, and Danica Clemenson, 37 set assists for the LBF volleyball team. The Fort Francis Lakers dropped a 6-1 decision to Thief River Falls. No action on Sunday or Monday. Tuesday, the Little Fork Big Falls Vikings volleyball team lost to Deer River in 3 sets. Danica Clemenson led the way with 7 digs, 10 set assists. Megan Fairchild had 3 kills. We talked about the Bronco volleyball match at home against Hibbing as they won 25-12, 31-29, 26-24. Just the 6th time the Broncos have ever defeated Hibbing in 66 tries. And so you get a win against a team like that, you're going to take that and you're going to be doggone happy with it. Tia Goulet had 21 digs. Bianca Carlson, 27 set assists, also had 4 kills. Tennyson Omdahl, 9 kills. Jenna Sullivan, 13 kills, 3 ace blocks. And Bailey Millette had 8 kills and 4 ace serves. Cross-country teams were in Ely on Tuesday. The boys took 3rd place behind Esco and Ely. Hunter Wilson was 8th. John Coleman, 11th. Jake Erickson, 14th. The girls fielded an entire varsity team for the first time this season. They placed 4th behind Ely, Virginia, and Esco. Avery Savonin took 8th, Ryan Ford 12th, and Ellen Windell's 19th. The Rainy River Voyager volleyball team, if you didn't come out, if you weren't there on Wednesday night, you missed out on a treat, actually. It was very good volleyball. It was very, very intense as the Voyagers took on Mesabi Range, a team that is always it's always a battle between those two teams, and the Voyager women beat the Lady Norse in 4 sets, 28-26, 25-23, 22-25, and 25-21. All sets very, very close. Sandy Thompson had 19 kills, 15 digs. Carly Phillips, 35 set assists. Clara Palmer, had 12 digs and 2 ace serves, including the match winner. She did a great job jump serving in that game and really gave the Voyagers a boost in the serving area. Little Fork Big Falls Vikings volleyball team went to Nashwauk-Keewatin on Thursday. They lose in 5 sets. It was some interesting scores here. LBF took the first set 28-26. Then they lose 25-13, 25-10. And then they come back and win set 4, 25-11. That just doesn't add up. 15-10, Nashwauk-Keewatin gets set 5. Danica Clemenson did have 33 set assists. Emily Franz, 11 kills. And Kenzie Swenson, 9 kills and 11 digs. The cross-country teams had their second meet of the weekend. As they were in Hibbing on Thursday. The boys again took 3rd behind Esco and GNK this time. Esco put everybody. They weren't on the radar here a couple of weeks ago as being one of the teams to be favored in Section 7A for the boys. They put GNK and a lot of other teams on alert, saying, "Hey, we're thinking about taking that number 1 spot." John Coleman was 12th, Jake Erickson 20th, and Hunter Wilson 22nd as they ran in an absolute mud bath, I was told this morning. The girls took 9th place as a team. Proctor was first, Masabi East second. Avery Savonin individually was 18th, Ryan Ford 22nd, and Summer Hessendahl was 54th for the Broncos. Last night we had Vikings football on the air. They lose 62-6 to the Renshaw Wrens, and the Lakers lost to English River last night 4-2. They are in Dryden tonight for a 7:30 matchup. Of course, we mentioned the Rainy River baseball teams on the road at Nashwauk as they will be playing Hibbing and Masabi Range today. What else is coming up over the weekend? Well, nothing else today, nothing tomorrow, nothing on Monday, except that homecoming week gets started for the for Falls High. Of course, the dress-up days and everything else. On Tuesday, the girls swimming and diving team, they head to Masabi East for the Iron Range Conference meet that begins at 4:30. The Bronco volleyball team is at Chisholm for an IRC matchup there, and the Vikings volleyball team is at Cherry, matchup that the Vikings, they need that win. They want to get that win. I know they want to win all of them, but that's one that can help them out here, and they need to win at Cherry on Tuesday. The Rainy River volleyball team, they're at home against Hibbing on Wednesday. Thursday, the girls swimming and diving team is going to be at Grand Rapids for an invitational at 5 o'clock. So they got 2 big invitationals this week. Do the girls' swimming and diving team. The Bronco volleyball team is at Evelyn Gilbert, and I'm hoping, I'm hoping and not hoping. We might have that game on K104. It all depends upon what the Twins do. The Twins win on Tuesday. The Twins play on Thursday, and we probably will not have that game on the air. But if the Twins lose, we're hoping to have that game on the air on Thursday night, and we'll let you know when we know for sure. The Vikings volleyball team, they are at home hosting Kellier North Home on Thursday. Friday, the Bronco football team gets back on the field after their bye week last night. They are hosting 2 Harbors at 7 o'clock at Sports Stadium. Of course, the pregame will start at 6:40 on K104 and online at rjbroadcasting.com. The Vikings football team, will be at Floodwood on Friday for a 7 o'clock game. The Rainy River volleyball team will be at Fond du Lac for a 6:30 match, and the Lakers will be at home at Ice for Kids Arena as they will take on the Minnesota Iron Rangers. Next Saturday, the Bronco volleyball team completes a big week, and it is homecoming week, but they don't have a home match during the week as they'll be on Chisholm as Tuesday and Evelyn on Thursday. They'll be at the ESCO tournament on Saturday for 4 matches. Always great competition down there. You always get a team look at some of those teams from the south half of the subsection, so always good to see the Broncos head down there. The cross-country teams will be running at the Swain next Saturday, running the hills at the Enger Golf Course. Always a challenge to there, and plus it's the biggest high school cross-country meet in northern Minnesota. There's thousands of runners there. The Lakers will be again at Dryden next Saturday. That's going to wrap it up here for Coach's Corner this week. Again, thanks to my guests. Thanks to everybody here at Hardee's for taking care of those guests. Thanks to Ryan back at the station for pushing them all the buttons. Thanks to our sponsors. But most of all, thank you for listening to Coach's Corner. Live from Hardee's on K104 and online at rjbroadcasting.com.